Hi Stampers, it's Tina Shaw from tinashaws.blogspot.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Fairborn, Ohio. And today I wanted to show you how I made this fancy fold easel card. I am hooked on, of course, the poinsettias. I love the poinsettia petal stamp set. Seems like I'm using it almost every day because I like it so much. And so it's so cute because it just stands up by itself, folds out inside, and then I decorated, of course, the little front easel part right there. And then I even put a liner inside using the same designer series paper. So I just wanted to go over with you all of my parts. So my card base is right here, and this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, folded, just like a regular card. And then this one is, this is Balmy Blue, this is Pacific Point. This one is cut at 4 by 10, scored at 5 1/4 and 7 5/8. So then you're going to fold it like a W, valley, mountain, and then what we're going to do is just glue this onto here. And then I have a piece of the Snowflake Splendor designer series paper, which I love. This particular pattern, of course, is my favorite too. And this one is cut at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then that will fit right on there. And then I have a piece of, actually 2 pieces of these little panels that go on the little easel part, and so I'm going to glue those down to there, and those are cut at 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. I have a piece of 5 1/4 by, or 4, yeah, 5 1/4 by 4 for my inside. And then I've also cut out the little, I call it a banner piece, from the Snow Wonder set. And I'm also using the words from the Snow Wonder because I think they're just so pretty. But I used this one right here to cut that image out. Okay, so we can go ahead and just glue all these together, except for the inside. I don't want to glue my inside yet. Okay, so I need a tape roller. Here we go. So what I'm going to do first is just put some adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to lay this down here like so, just so you have the layer all around. And see, I have even the layer down there. And then just rub. And then I'm going to take my designer series paper and put that on there. And this one only has 1/8 of an inch, so you just see a little bit of the darker blue, which I like. It just makes it pop. Okay, so there's that. Then my 2 little easel pieces. Again, you're only having 1/8 of an inch border. Like that. And this one goes on the front, right there. Okay, so we've got that part done. So I'm going to set this aside. And I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to go all over it. Like that. And get my white embossing powder ready to use. I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the largest, and I'm going to ink it up with the Versamark, ink it up really well. And then I'm going to stamp that onto here, like that. So you're wondering, if she's using white, how did she get all that pretty blue on there? I'm going to show you how to do that. Second flower, poinsettia flower, and I'm going to put this one like down here. Don't want to overlap or get too close because we're going to heat emboss these and then cut them out with the matching die cut over here. A certain way so you can see where you're at. So now, let me bring over a little tray, and I'm just going to add my white embossing powder, and you will just see how this just pops up these poinsettias. And you will be able to see them. Can you see that? And then I always like to go back over again, make sure I've got plenty of embossing powder. I'll go over them twice at least. And that looks pretty good. One more. All right. So then I like to tap off in the back. Okay, so I'm going to go heat these with my heat tool and cut them out with the die cuts, and I'll be right back. Okay, but before I do all that with the poinsettias, I want to go ahead and stamp my little Pacific Blue point card. Okay, so I used my embossing buddy, stamp my greeting that I'm going to put on the front of the easel part. Try to get that in the center as best you can. Like that. Okay, and now carefully I'm just going to scoop this up because I've got a ton in here. Just make sure I get over all of my words, my letters with that white powder. And there we go. I think that looks good. Okay, just have to be careful not to touch your words or it messes it up. Okay, now I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I heat embossed my little greeting for the outside with the white. And then I need to show you how cool this is, the new magnetic plate that goes through the cut and emboss machine. And oh my gosh, look at that. It just holds it down. So I did all three at the same time. No slipping, no jumping, no moving. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. Okay, so here are my poinsettias. I heated them with my heat tool, and now I just cut them out with my dies. Let me set this aside. Okay, so now, how do I get these that beautiful blue? Because I'm going to make a mess, of course. So I'm going to use my balmy blue first, and I'm going to sponge. And so I just want to get ink really good on my sponge first. Now, since these are embossed, see how it just doesn't stick to the white embossing part. I love it. Okay, so there's that one. There's this one. Notice how I always dab off first so I don't get big blobs on my poinsettia or any image that I'm working on, because then you have to work to fix that. Okay, so there's that one. Now I just need to do the big one. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. And I like it, I think, because it's muted. the color is muted. It isn't just like using the cardstock to get that solid color on it. Okay, so now I've done that. Now what I'm going to do is set that aside. I'm going to grab my Pacific Point ink pad, and this time I'm going to use a dauber because what I want to do is just to get this in the center. So it's just kind of in the center like that. Not on the whole flower. And then I need a tissue because then I'm going to wipe off the ink from the embossed part. See how that comes off? So the white will look whiter. There we go. And two, I think it spreads the color just a little bit. I think I got this one just a wee bit darker than my first one, which is fine. You can do it however, keep turning those back, however you like. I think that's really cute. Okay, so now while I have my daubers and my sponge out, I already went ahead and cut out 4 of the Pacific Point leaves out of the Poinsettia Petals dies. So I've got 4 of those, and then I have 4 of the Balmy Blues, and then I also cut out 3 of the sprigs in the Pacific Point and 3 in the Balmy. Got this one hung up a bit. There we go. And I like to hit them too with just a little bit of sponging, just to give it some detail. So I think for the darker blue, I'm going to go around the edges here with the Pacific. And you don't have to worry about the base part because those are going to be tucked in inside underneath the poinsettia. I just did it anyway. Okay, so now I'm, which is fine. Okay. And I just kind of want to get a little bit. You just do them all at once. It's a little bit easier. Okay. There. What do you think? I'll get this one out. Set those aside to dry. So now what I'm going to do is just put my poinsettia together, and I'm going to use glue dots to put them together. Use my piercing tool, take a pick tool, and I'm going to take my largest one first, and I'm going to put down 2 glue dots. Love my blue fingers. Came right back up. Okay, so then I'm going to spin these just a bit. I don't want them like really bent a lot. You can use the bone folder if you want to, but then I found that I had it too much. So you're going to stagger this so it covers the empty spaces between your petals. And so now I'm going to put down 2 more glue dots on this layer. And then again, just going to roll him up a little. And then again, I'm going to stagger this one to go between those layers again. How pretty. And then I love to use these beautiful beaded pearls. There's 3 pearls surrounded by silver edges, which looks pretty with my, I'm going to use some silver sprigs that I cut out as well. Let me find my dots here. This one I like to put several on it just to make sure it sticks really well. Okay, so then all I'm going to do is put this in the center, like so. Isn't that pretty? So that will go over here. I just want to put a couple right back here. Actually, I think I might just do the one. Okay, and so I'm gonna make sure that I don't have any hanging down there. Okay, about right there. That looks good. Okay, and now I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue to adhere my leaves. And these I'm just going to bend them a little bit, and I'm just going to put the glue at the bottom part. And so I think I want some over here. And these are the smaller size leaves that I cut out. There's 2 sizes. You get 2 dies, and there's a larger one and a smaller, and I went with the smaller. Since I'm only doing 1 flower, I didn't want great big leaves. If I had another flower, then I could probably want to do that. Okay, so then I'm going to put this one over here, like that. Then I'm going to get another light one. And I think I'll put this up here. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay, so here's one more dark one. Bendy. I'm going to put that one about right there. And then one more light. Balmy. And then that one is going to go right there. Look how pretty. Don't you love that? Okay, so now I'm going to take my sprigs, and for all my sprigs I like to trim off the bottoms because I tend to tuck these way down in there. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of the multi-purpose glue down here on the bottom. And I don't know where my whatchamacallit is, my silicone mat. It's here somewhere. Okay, so again, just put a little bit. And so I like to put the darker sprigs on the lighter leaf and then the lighter sprig on the darker leaf. That makes sense? So now, this one we're almost done with the front of the card. Almost, not quite. Now my lighter one goes right there. I love these little sprigs. I think they just really add dimension to the card. Just pops. Okay. So last week I made the Halloween card that was the same dimensions as this card. So let me see if I have that close. Here it is. Which was this card here. And I used the same die cut. This one I cut out the largest circle die in the circle die set, and made the same way, just using different paper. See how cute you can have it be. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is lay that down there. When you're putting this card together, you do want to make sure, which I didn't do, I don't think, is really crease your fold lines with your bone folder, because we want it to lay down, but you know, when it's standing up like that. Oh, just love it. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to use some more dimensionals on the back of that one. See, I got some embossing powder on there, which doesn't matter because it's on the back, right? Okay, so I'm just going to pop this up down at the bottom part of my easel. Just try to center that right there. And then I like to take a couple more of my leaves, and now make sure that you just get your glue on the bottom half and just kind of tuck that just very little under the tip. And you got to make sure you don't want any glue there. Okay, and then my light one, balmy. And I'm just going to put that one like right there, like so. Okay, so I do want to wipe this little bit off. I don't want it to stick to my card when it is closed in the envelope. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to add some of these pretty blue adhesive backed gems. Love them. And I'm going to use my take a pick tool again, and I'm going to pick these up. Now I used the lighter ones on my top part, and I just kind of put them around where you could see them. I used the smaller ones, and maybe right there. Always, they say do it in threes. If I can pick this one up, that would be good. Okay, so there's that. Oops, got him on the tip of the flower. There we go. And then I did use the darker ones right here, and I used the big ones, just like that. So my third one was actually on top of there. Oh, isn't that pretty? Love it. And then I actually did two more, like right in the little rounded part on that. There. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so there's that. Now all I need to do is stamp my inside piece. Pacific Point to stamp the verse, which says, sending you blessings, peace, and magic this Christmas season. Okay, so lay this down, and then stamp, raise up. Okay, and now I'm going to close up that dark one, and I'm going to take my balmy blue, and I'm going to ink up the, oh, I forgot one. No, I got them all. I saw an extra silver piece sprig over here. I thought I missed it. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up in balmy blue. This is the poinsettia stamp that's in that poinsettia set. And I'm going to stamp it off. And then I'm going to stamp it directly over the verse. So it's just beautiful. Just a shade down there. Okay, and on this one I actually added a little piece of like that, and then I'm just going to put a little glue on there. me some glue on the back. And then put this on the inside. Oh, wrong card. How about this one on the inside? The one we just made. There we go. So there is the fancy fold easel card with the sponged poinsettia. I hope you like that. And I also, on my first card, which I'm not doing this time, I did the envelope liner, which is from the envelope die set that goes with the envelope stamp set. So let me know if you make it, and if you have any questions, make sure to let me know either on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and visit my blog, tinashaws.blogspot.com. I have all my videos on there. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to help you out with your Stampin' Up! Needs, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.